Are you seeing the t-shirt?
Yes.
That's what editing is about. To become a good editor, you just need to edit. And I want to pose this challenge to you. Download some of the actual dailies from a real film and cut a scene for us.
Shit, you're good at this.
We're gonna pick some winners and give away some amazing prizes. It could be MacBook Pro, some gear, some software, just the tools that you need to work on your craft. So check out the collective and sign up.
I like the background. You're like in nature.
Yeah, I'm out here by a lake in like a nice little cabin. We have our own forest in the back.
Wow.
Just keeps on going here. It's like the Blair Witch Project.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I guess for people wondering why we're doing it this way, you're in Germany right now.
I am.
We're pretty much neighbors, but in this moment in time, we're definitely not. We're pretty far from each other.
Here's how it's gonna go down. The movie was shot in 4K, and this is a 1080 proxies that were created. What we were thinking is to put up some dailies of projects that we worked on and challenge you to edit a scene. Chris, why don't you talk a little bit about the scene that you're providing?
Yeah, so for this one, it's very open to interpretation. There's some basic story beats, but there's no dialogue, there's no specific line of action that this character needs to follow. It's more of just, here's the environment, here's the basic movement of this guy walking through it, and then he discovers this car that could represent his past memories. We ended up having a lot of extra little clips people could use in different ways, even clips that didn't make it into the final edit that I did. It's pretty open to whatever kind of edit people want to do with it.
With my scene, it's quite the opposite. It actually is very simple. So you only really have 3 or 4 angles that you can choose from, but it's highly improvised. I guess that's where it's interesting to play as an editor, to see how you're going to shape that scene, what's going to be part of it, how you're going to create that dramatic arc.
Really?
Yeah.
We partnered up with the collective by Lacey to help us facilitate this competition.
I need to talk about creating stuff.
The collective is an online community to nourish new talent.
Let it grow. This whole thing of work and doing what you love will be full of obstacles and rewards.
It's a platform where you can pick up some skills and then turn around and create something awesome yourself.
We just want to make cool shit.
And they were so kind to put up a budget where Chris and I picked some amazing prizes.
What we're trying to do with these prizes is to give back in a way that's actually useful.
We're picking one grand prize winner. That person is going to win a MacBook Pro, the new model that just came out.
Oh man.
They're also going to get a Lacey 20 terabyte 2 big dog drive. I have one of those. It's pretty sweet. They're also going to get the DJI Copilot, which is a smaller drive, but it's really robust. And it's designed to be used on set. So it has its own SD card slot. You get the card from the camera and you can immediately download it. And you can actually manage already the files through an app.
Wow.
They're also gonna get a 1-year subscription to Adobe Cloud. You can use After Effects, you can use Premiere, all the different applications. And they're also gonna get a Filmstro license. You know more about that than I do. What is Filmstro?
Yeah, so Filmstro, which was actually used as the main soundtrack in my original short, Timeless. The great thing about it, which is why I gravitated towards that sort of way of doing music library instead of the traditional one, is that you can actually control different parameters of each track that you get. You can just adjust all these layers of the tracks to really fit and match your edit.
I wonder if they could already use it for the actual scene editing. Like, do they have a trial?
I believe so, actually. If there is, I'll definitely link it in the description so that people can download it, because that would be, I think that would be a pretty useful tool to have.
There will be 3 runners-up, and each one of them will get a DJI Copilot as well as a Filmstore license. Then there's an audience prize as well, a Lacey 2 big dog drive as well as a Filmstore license. And I mean, having a brand new MacBook Pro is cool, but ultimately what's even cooler is that you actually created a finished product.
100%. Even if someone's watching this and they're like, there's probably going to be so many good editors, I don't have a chance. Doesn't matter. Like, maybe you don't, but who cares? You can actually have fun with it and you can take it different directions. Like, use this as an exercise.
The growth comes from putting it out there and going through the entire process and seeing how an audience might connect or does not connect. When viewers are going to download the dailies from your scene, do you have any advice for them, any tips?
I think one of the things that we also mentioned in our past video was to really get familiar with the clips.
Look at all the dailies. Don't just look at them. I mean, you want to work with them, so start sorting them, start identifying the moments that what I would call the gold moments, and find a way to mark them.
One thing that could help with my scene specifically, just because it's more about movement and how the emotion ties into that, it could be interesting to do a bit of like a, not so much a flow chart, but maybe just a way of just establishing certain beats and saying, okay, I want it to go from here to here, and this is why, and maybe this is the kind of feel and tone that I want to capture with this little sections in a timeline. And then from there, even not doing that, like flipping things around and just seeing if other things work that could be different from your original plan. What about with your scene?
Okay, it's my turn.
All right.
There's something going on in the scene where maybe you don't need every line, everything that's going on. As I'm always saying, like when you look at a scene, there are really 3 questions that you could ask. And this is not me, that's actually David Mamet. It's basically who wants what. So the main character has a goal. Why right now? So there needs to be an immediacy that we need to feel in that scene. And then what happens if she doesn't get it? So there needs to be some form of obstacle, stakes in the scene, because then the audience is going to be intrigued and is going to try and figure out whether the main character is going to reach that goal.
I have a boyfriend. You have...
I have a wife. That is true. That's true. But, you know...
If you are using outside music, just make sure you have the license for it. Don't just grab a Lady Gaga track.
As a guideline, we are not really allowing extra footage, but they could use little compositing tricks, like white pans or things like that. There's one moment where the car gets revealed in my shot where I actually rotoscoped in a piece of cloth in the close-up of the headlight to tie it in with the wide shot of the thing being pulled. I don't know, fixing some shots, adjusting some shots, or changing things through compositing. That could be cool to see.
We go as far as titles and graphic elements. What about grading?
I think at least a basic grade. I know that not every editor is a colorist, and I wouldn't necessarily consider myself that either, but I think that just to show some basic knowledge in a way that it's at least presentable.
Actually, on that film, when I sat with the director initially and we were looking at scenes, the director was very uncomfortable with the film. Just on a hunch, I started making the footage darker. And then immediately his worries went away. So color does affect how you feel about a story.
Can I kiss you?
Yes, please.
I'm okay with even them changing the grade of my scene to have a different tone. So maybe it's not a nostalgic old man reuniting with a car that ties with his past memories. It could be something completely different. We even showed a little bit of the example in terms of sound design in one of my I had a sound designer do a horror version of the short where now he looked like a serial killer, and it was pretty creepy to look at. So you're not just editing based on cuts. You can just change the soundscape of it, the music, the color. Really use all these tools that you have in your arsenal, getting this material and making it your own based on whatever you're feeling is right.
So we launch now, because this is part of the video. So right now, it's open. Check out the link, go to the collective, sign up, and then you can download the footage. You can pick either Chris's scene or my scene, or you can pick both scenes. And you have time until September 1st. That's the deadline for your submission. And then we'll try to look at the scenes within the next few weeks and announce the winners sometime in September.
We can't wait to see what people are going to do. I think we're both excited about this just because it's always interesting to see someone else's perspective. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm fully expecting that somebody cuts that scene and I'm like, damn, that's better than what I did. And let's replace that in the movie now and put that in.
Yeah, I'll just
So jump on over to the collective, sign up, download the footage, and start editing.